Hello, everyone. This is Cody Lee of BlackCatBooks.org, author of I the Dragon, Cruel and Beautiful, Rabbit Hole, King Dia, Loin Frey, Grim Clover, and the upcoming Jaw the Dragon. So, last night, Nintendo released information stating that they would be covering Xenoblade Chronicles 2 tomorrow, on the 22nd of June, in a Nintendo Direct. 20-minute showcase exclusively for this one game. I made a video about it immediately, like specifically talking about the fake as fuck Pretendo backlash. But now that I've dwelled on it a little bit and like thought about it a little bit more, I feel like we have had a lot of fake motherfucking backlash controversies over the past couple of months. Like first it was like Nintendo Switch Sports and people pretending that game was terrible when it was great. Like people shitting on Mario Strikers now, even though that's great. And now, like Xenoblade Chronicles 3, going into this saga, this game that was pushed up a release date. It was originally supposed to be coming out in September or like August or something, and now it's coming out in July. Oh no, it was September, wasn't it? Yeah. No, when is it coming out? Yeah, it was supposed to be September. It was kicked up to July. This game that is coming out soon is suddenly getting a lot of negative comments on social media. I've seen this on Twitter, on 4chan, on other platforms. In that like there has been like this barrage of anti-Xenoblade and Fire Emblem sentiment over the past couple of months, especially from the same people who are bitching about Mario Strikers, about Nintendo Switch Sports, and about essentially every other Switch game that came out this year. And I am finding myself like wondering, it feels like the propaganda against Nintendo Switch is really ramping up out of nowhere. Like I almost feel like Sony upped their marketing budget because it seems like so odd to see so many people like try and push this narrative that there's something wrong with Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Like, how could they give us a 20-minute demonstration? Like, we've already seen everything there is to see. Like, all they could talk about is the combat. Like, the game, it's been censored, it's less sexualized than 2. Like, oh man, like it's on an underpowered tablet. Like it's like the same thing they did when Breath of the Wild came out, when like ARMS came out, when the original Xenoblade Chronicles 2 came out. There's this weird kind of agenda pushing among on social media that just seems really authentic, inauthentic, and very, very fake. Because it's clearly not like people who are unfamiliar with the Xenoblade franchise like talking about this stuff, right? Like it's people who are like intimately familiar with the series and the games and how they're structured and what they are and stuff like that. Like I would expect like most people who have like never played a Xenoblade Chronicles game before would consider getting into it, or like maybe just say it's not for me. They wouldn't like manufacture this entire hate brigade over a game for allegedly taking up space when it comes to like Nintendo Direct announcements, like roster fagging for game announcements. That's kind of what this community has evolved into, is that in that people are getting or like feigning anger over certain things being announced and other things being like pushed back or not talked about. Like I don't, after seeing all of these Nintendo Switch Sports reviews, after seeing like the Mario Strikers damage control, after seeing this, like I am, this is the honestly, this is probably the most I felt in recent years disappointed with the gaming media, because not being a fan of Xenoblade, not being a fan of like Mario sports games, not really even being that big of a fan of like Wii Sports, like Nintendo Switch sports games, like I felt as if like I really gave the Pretendos a lot of benefit of the doubt with this one. Like I legit was telling people that yeah, like Xenoblade doesn't look good. Probably not going to play it. Like Three Hopes doesn't look good. Probably not going to play it. Like Nintendo Switch Sports, yeah, we'll have to play it and see if it holds up to Wii Sports Resort. Yeah, Strikers, we'll have to see if it holds up to the originals. And like I gave them too much benefit of the doubt. Like I apologize for that. I really should have been like more on the ball. I really should have seen this coming, because Mario Strikers is great. Switch Sports is great. Fire Emblem Three Hopes is shaping up to be great, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3 seems to be, another Xenoblade game, a game that I'm sure will appeal to its audience. And as someone, I personally, I'm in the middle of playing through two. I think I will finish it, honestly. I probably will pick up three. Words out on whether or not I enjoy it, but like whether I like, regardless of like how I feel about these games, how much I enjoy them, how much I play them, it is downright disrespectful for people to be coming out and like shitting on them pre-release for these arbitrary reasons that really make no sense. Like, are you really going to like condemn a Xenoblade game for coming out too soon? Like, are you really going to keep saying that like crying about censorship on Nintendo consoles when that hasn't been a thing since like the fucking 90s, early 90s with Mortal Kombat 1? Like, are you really going to keep up this like facade of like being big fans of like every Nintendo franchise only to like basically shit on everything that comes out? Like, it needs to stop. Like, it really has gotten out of hand a long time ago. Is just like the weird narratives that the industry tries to pull, like the weird conspiracies they try to push, the weird stories they try to do, and like the games they try to bury. Like, 10 years ago, I was games like The Last Story went under the radar because of game journalists like Pro Jared, who did everything in their power to make it seem like a very underwhelming new entry from a beloved game creator, Sakaguchi, right? Like, you have the creator of Final Fantasy, right? Like, you have people, downplaying games like Wario Land Shake It, like Little King Story, like stuff like that. Like, there were so many great Wii and 3DS games that I felt were completely shafted because people couldn't get over the fact that, oh man, these are Wii games. They're casual. They can't compete with PlayStation 360 games. Not only did we compete with those games, it outperformed them like by leaps and bounds. And I think with like modern Nintendo, that's become true for like the entire video game industry. There is no competition for Nintendo right now, and yet somehow Pretendos are still able to manufacture narratives out of whole cloth, like bitching about absolutely nothing, bitching about having too many games. As RGT has like straight up admitted, like I don't need a new Xenoblade or Fire Emblem right now. Like, oh, come on. Like, I don't respect these people, okay? I don't respect people who like respect like who reject Nintendo games for like nonsensical reasons, like having an anime art style or playing like a turn-based RPG or like doing certain things creatively, like having a certain visual style. Like, it's it's never been a good indicator of quality to simply like judge something like that. You know what I mean? And like a lot of these people will play stuff like, I don't know. Mm, a lot of these people will just turn around and complain about Nintendo doing what they said they should have done to begin with. Like, they are downright ridiculous people.